Hello everybody and welcome back to another video. Now before the action starts, just got to mention the slight Zwift issue that happened on Tuesday night where everyone was apparently showing as N valid. Now on screen right now that's what I think N valid actually looks like, but in reality it was a bunch of other competitors that just for some reason weren't showing up on screen. So I'm not sure what happened there, but cue the jokes. As you can see, it actually made me chuckle quite a bit. Everyone was kind of in the same boat, but it did sort itself out halfway through the race, which you'll see in just a little bit. But I thought I'd call it out, and you know, sometimes these things happen. It wasn't ideal, but just got to get on with it and try not to let it affect you, and that's exactly what I did in the end. So I know I said that I wasn't going to race this week's ZRL. I wasn't in the best fitness and I wanted to build up my fitness before coming back. So I said to the C1 team, I said, look, I'm happy to sit this one out because I know that others wanted to race this one. And they said, that's fine. And then someone from the B3 team said, look, why don't you come and do a bit of a session with us, join the race. So I thought, okay, I'll do it. It's a good little VO2 training session, this one. It's the Glasgow crit circuit, so it's only going to be about 20 to 25 minutes, and it's pretty much, you know, as I said, a VO2 training session, so why not? And I thought it would be interesting to see how I got on in the B race, you know, following me being in the C team all of last season. So here we are, racing with a bunch of N valids, myself included. Just coming through the first sprint segment here. So it was pretty much just absolutely crazy right from the word go, this one. And I thought I'd just try and stay with the front group for as long as I can. I know I always say that. And I wasn't really expecting to do particularly well in this race. But yeah, just good to kind of, you know, challenge myself and push myself just so I can, you know, try and get my fitness increased for the Flamme Rouge Racing Tour that is coming up this coming weekend, which I'm really looking forward to. Again, there's kind of going to be a little bit of a different twist for me on this one. I have increased my category, so I'm no longer in the Ks, I'm now in the bonds, but I'll talk about that in my next video. But yeah, just wanted to stay with the front group for as long as possible. Coming up this first little Clyde Kicker here, I thought this was probably my only chance to get some points, to try and get near the front, because I didn't really waste all of my matches on that first sprint, but still I was kind of hanging on a little bit here. And I think for me sometimes I just need to change my the way that I think, because I'm kind of, well, it says I'm 14th here, and I know I'm like in my own head that I could have pushed on further. So I just need to sort it out in my own head before the race, what exactly I'm doing. I knew I wanted to give that one a go, but at the same time, I'm like, well, there is a little bit of a split behind, so maybe I'll just try and stay with this group and get some finishing points. But, you know, there you go. Just continuously learning on Zwift. And, yeah, it's all good. You know, this was a very, very good training session for me. So, you know, after the first two sprints, I'm still with the front group, so not too bad. Heart rate's kind of high. 158, 159, just trying to get some rest down here, just following the bunch really, and I know it's going to kick off again in a second, so yeah, just trying to do my best to stay in and sit with the pack right kind of towards the back, make a bit of a mistake here, get a bit too far forward. I've already used my power-up, so I haven't got that to use, and power-ups weren't actually too bad in this one. I did get my fair share of arrows and feathers, which was absolutely fine. And what are your thoughts on the power-ups in ZRL? I know that in the Flamme Rouge Racing they don't have any power-ups. I'm kind of easy, I don't mind them, but at the same time I kind of like it without. I don't know, because it makes it a completely level playing field, kind of gamifies it a bit when you've got the power-ups, which is, you know, which is fine. Anyway, it was at this point here, as I spin it forward, that you can see that I'm just now coming off the back. Once again, for me, I should have potentially pushed a little bit harder, because I wasn't feeling awful, but at the same time I kind of thought in my own head that wasn't going to be my group. I was going to fall off at some point, so if I'm going to fall off, I might as well fall off at a point where I can maybe latch on to another group, because it was still quite early on in the race. But you know, once again, this was a very short race. Something that I haven't done in a little while is a short one like this. Normally, you know, the races that I do kind of 45 minutes to an hour. So yeah, this was a bit of a shock to the system. And here we just join up with another group here, but it's kind of interesting because I've got no idea who's with me, no idea if there's any teammates or anything like that. So yeah, just want to follow this group around, stay at the back. I don't really want to drop off the back of this group because if I do, I'll be in the very last group. And I think probably, it would be a good challenge to stay with this group for me. I'm not really sure why there were so many surges at this point as well, because we're not going to get any of the point. Or maybe actually we still got fastest across the line at this point. I take it back. But yeah, so I'm just wanting to stay with the kind of front of the group. So if they do come through, I can, rest a little bit and then get back on. But kind of no dramas around this point, just now coming to halfway through the race. And I'm feeling okay. I'm feeling not too bad at all. These bits were quite nice because you could get a little bit of rest, even though, there we go, we can now see what's going on. Everything has become clear. And actually at this point I was kind of interested to see one of my teammates, John. Hi John, if you're watching, who I actually used to race with in the old B2 team. So, and it was actually really good to race with a couple of the guys that I used to race with, and obviously the new faces as well. It's always good. I do actually love racing with my current team. It's just it's a bit of a shame that we haven't got a team for the Flamme Rouge racing. So I kind of race for the just the Flamme Rouge racing team, which is absolutely fine. But yeah, coming up here now, we're coming up to the last lap, and yeah, heart rate's kind of buzzing around the 164, 165. So I'm kind of what I would expect if I was doing like a TT or an ITT. I'm holding kind of threshold. So I knew I was, in a state of pain, shall we say, at this point. But I was happy, that we're almost 18 minutes in and we've only got this lap to go. I'm kind of now planning out what I'm going to do. So I did have visions of getting off the front of this group because for whatever reason, I kind of seem to have a good punch up the Clyde Kicker. I'd always come out towards the front of the group unless someone really kind of tried hard. And I'm just running it here in not normal time, but just a kind of slower pace. And here we come to the Clyde Kicker. So I've just used my drafting boost before this, just to save a little bit of energy for this climb. I'm not sure if that was the right idea, but it's exactly what I did. And it was this bit here that I really wanted to make a little punch. So I'm stood up on my bike, just coming to the top of this one. And yeah, surprisingly, I do get a little bit of a gap as we come over the crest here. And yeah, I didn't think I would get as much as a couple of seconds. So I'm kind of in no man's land here. Not really sure what I should be doing. As I say, 2 seconds to the group behind. I thought they might come back at me, but when you're like this solo and there's a group behind and they just come absolutely rushing past you, I didn't want to then fall off the back of that group. So I was once again a little bit undecided here and should have made up my mind either to go for it or to just stay in the pack. So a little bit of a mistake here from me, but I'm learning all the time on Zwift. I'm not the perfect racer, definitely not. But yeah, I know we've only got a bit to go, and I think I make another little mistake here. In fact, I should have called this video the mistake show, really, shouldn't I? Because I think I popped my aero. There you go. I popped my aero at this point. Perhaps in hindsight, I should have waited until the final little drag or the final kind of straight, because now the aero boost is gone, and I know it's going to be a difficult one to, because I'm feeling like my heart rate's now 170. I'm feeling a little bit knackered, so I haven't really got much of a kick at this point. And all I wanted to do really is just finish ahead of John, selfishly, as my teammate. But John soon had other ideas. And as you can see, coming across the line here, I had literally nothing left. I stood up for a little bit on the bike and just a lack of effort here. Finish off in a 39th position. I put the Zwift power on screen. For some reason, we obviously still don't have the results following the N-valid issue, but I'm sure, as I said before, that'll sort itself out. Now, next up, we've got the Flamme Rouge Racing Tour starting this Saturday, and it's not all about the GC this time. I got a little surprise. I'm going for the green jersey. That is right. So look out for those videos coming soon. Thanks for all of those that like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.